Hey guys, I wanted to do a video to show what was in my pack this year for 2017 as I was going through the summer, and I've added a couple things and subtracted a couple things throughout the year. So I don't have enough room in this room to be in the video, so I'm going to use a walking stick to point at things and just kind of tell you what they were. I'll give you a quick idea of if I liked it or didn't like it, or if I'm going to look at replacing it. So the first thing, this is the Z-Packs Duplex. Picked that up this year, replacing an REI tent that I had, just to save weight. I like it pretty well. I did a video on a mod that I did on it. It's a good tent. It's definitely, I'm getting used to not having a freestanding tent. I like the weight difference, but it definitely is trickier to set up than a freestanding tent. But I'm going to keep using it because I like the weight. But I did have an issue, not the tent's fault. I had an issue with a chipmunk. After a thunderstorm, I had left part of a granola bar in the pack of my pack, and I had left my pack in the tent, and a chipmunk ripped its way through. So as soon as I'm done with the season this year, I have one last trip coming up this weekend, and then that'll be being shipped back to Florida to be repaired. This is the brand new 2017 REI Flash pad. I originally bought the long wide and replaced it with the regular. I like it okay. It's for the price. I think it's great if you're trying to find a lighter pad. I have read some stuff online that people said that they've had some problems with this developing holes. I haven't had that problem, but I've only had it out about 16 nights. But some of the folks online that have done longer, either section hikes or throughs, have been having problems with it. So keep that in mind. This is the Arrows Deluxe pillow. I need a pillow, and so this works great. I would take it again, no problem. And I would take this, no problem too. I haven't had any problems with it. This is the Gorilla Gear 1/8 pad. No, Gossamer Gear 1/8 pad. I use this as my sit pad, or if I'm just trying to lay down, like take a nap or something on a hike. I have this strapped to the outside of my pack, and I'll roll this out. I also use it under my pad. The pads slip around like crazy on the Z-Packs tent, and so I was trying to find something to stop that from happening. It also protects the bottom of the tent when I go to like the desert and there's pricklies on the ground. So it weighs right around 3 ounces, so it's a little bit of a luxury item, but I take it. This is the Katabatic Gear Flex 30. If I did it over again, I would buy probably the Flex 15 and the Flex 22. I like the concept behind it, and based on the fill rating, it's probably closer to a 20 degree if you look at some of the other ones out there as far as the fill weight. For me, being as thin as I am, and I tend to be a cold sleeper, this is probably good for me down about 40 degrees, which is about as low as I've had it. And I've been fine without putting anything extra on. I'll show you in a second the clothes I sleep in, but I haven't had to put on like my down hoodie or something. I think if I put on my down hoodie and all that stuff, I could probably get it down to the rated 30 degrees. But some people say they could get down to 20 degrees in this. I don't think I could. This is one of the I don't remember which brand this is. I bought this on Amazon, but it's one of the brands that sells the same sunbrella. We use it when we go to the desert. We also use it when we're going to places where there might be rain or thunderstorms. I've actually used this in a thunderstorm. There's no metal in it, so it's relatively safe. And because I carry this, I generally don't carry a full rain jacket. I carry the Patagonia Houdini, which I'll talk about in a second. Down here, it's just a Granite Gear zip bag. I love these zip bags better than just regular stuff sack because you can kind of zip it open and see what's inside. And all my food, cooking, and water filtering stuff goes in here. These are not smart water bottles. These are the Echo bottles, but they have the same thread pattern as a smart water, so they can be used with the Sawyer. I carry 2 of these for clean water. I've done another video on the cook stuff, but this is the BRS 3000 that I carry, and this is the Evernew Titanium Ultralight 0.9 pan that I use. Sawyer mini filter, no, Sawyer regular filter, the squeeze. I don't like the mini. And this is the way too expensive, but I can't get rid of it because I love it. Fitting, that coupler that lets me couple it to this for a dirty bag. So I have another review that I did for a gravity fed using this guy. It works great. So I would definitely check out that video because it's a great inexpensive gravity, not super inexpensive, but cheaper than if you were to buy like the Platypus or one of those gravity. This is just a cut off piece of plastic bottle for digging out water of a small area, or if I'm in an area with low flow, trying to fill this dirty bag up in a low flow area is a pain, so I'll use that to grab water. This is some extra caps, like I've got the sport cap for the smart water bottle in there, as well as the original cap for the Sawyer, and then just one extra cap. I've lost these before, so I like to have extras because if you lose your cap, you're kind of done. This is just, I believe, the Sea to Summit spoon. I like the one with a polished tip because I don't like the feel of the rough titanium on my mouth. This is when I'm in the Sierras. I'm actually going to take this to the desert too because this time of year there can sometimes be little flies and gnats. This is the Sea to Summit bug net. It's great. I have a video of one of the hikes that I did where I was just covered in mosquitoes, and this kept them off of me. One of the places that I'm not good with weight is like medical stuff. This is, filled with, there's some hot hands, pads in there. There's some Leukotape in there. There's some this kind of stretch KT type tape. There's an ace bandage, ibuprofen, all that stuff. There's some antacid things. And then this orange thing is filled with all kinds of like little bottles of, I basically converted everything to small bottles of, there's some DEET in there, there's sunscreen, there's some Body Glide, Desitin, all little things that you would wish you had if you start having an issue on the trail. But so for me, there's about a pound involved in all of my like medical and stuff, which is where if I were going to do through hike, I'd probably have to cut some of that out. But for the hikes that I'm doing, I don't mind carrying the extra weight to have that protection. TP, wet wipes, Purell, and then these are like little doggy bags so I can carry out my TP. So I use those, and I have these, so the TP goes in there, and then I have another bag where all my trash goes in. It's also odor proof, and then that all goes into my bear bag or bear can or whatever. So it's double sealed. And then my food is in an op sack, so there's 3 layers between my toilet paper and my food. I want to carry it out, and I want to have it protected from all the animals from tearing it up, but I don't like having it next to my food. This is the Antec 10,000. I think it's the lightest 10,000 on the market. I use it. Works great, works fine, charges really fast. I have some other ones that I like better for if I'm planning on bringing more rechargeable things. iPhone headset. I got 2 different charging cables for my iPhone, one longer one and one short one. The short one's just a redundancy thing because these things sometimes go bad. These are the convertible ones. These actually can become a lightning plug or just the regular like USB micro because my Garmin uses the micro. So this is the newer Garmin Explorer GPS, come save me device. It's got GPS and stuff on it. The maps are pretty small, but as a backup to your phone, I've used it before, but it's great for sending messages back and forth and just kind of having that peace of mind, but it is heavy. This is the Spot. This is not the new model of the Spot from Black Diamond. This is the older model of the Spot. Works fine. I like all the features on it. The only thing I don't like is that there's no way to turn off the switch, so that I've had this get turned on in my pack before, and then I get to camp and it's almost dead, so that stinks. If I want to go super light, I don't bring this. I bring this little Maritac 90 degree AAA flashlight. This is a great little flashlight. You should look into this. A lot of people are going down the route of using like the just regular traditional flashlights and ditching the headlights. I like this one because it's got a little clip on it. It's 90 degrees, so you can clip it onto your pack while you're walking. You can clip it on your belt while you're walking. So I like it better than a traditional, just regular kind of straight flashlight. So that's all the non kind of clothing related stuff. Everything else is clothing, and I kind of go a little overboard on the clothes. So here's the Patagonia Houdini. I use this instead of a rain jacket. It actually sheds water really well as long as you're not in like a heavy downpour. The seams are not taped. So you could tape the seams to get a little bit more protection, but I've actually never wet through with this with the rain that I've been in, especially if I've got the umbrella with me. So I shave off a few ounces by using that instead of a traditional rain jacket. This is the Patagonia thermal weight hoodie. I like this a lot. I use this to as my sleep top. Also, it's my base layer if it's cold, but I generally only wear it when I'm sleeping. It's rare that I actually will wear it otherwise. But I like the hood, and it had basically, will zip all the way up to my my mouth, so that it's only really my face that's sticking out, especially since I'm using a quilt. These are compression socks. I made the switch to using compression socks as sleep socks. I find that my legs and my feet feel better in the morning if I've been hiking a lot. So I would highly recommend looking into compression socks for yourself if you have problems with sore feet the next day. These are the Outdoor Reach sun gloves. I'm really light skinned. I burn really easy, so I hike with these, and they're nice, and they keep me from getting blisters on my hands from like the trekking poles. But they look a little goofy, but I wear them. I don't know what model these are. These are just like Manzella synthetic lightweight gloves. Again, I'm cold, so I like to have options for if I'm in the mountains and it gets colder than I expect. So these weigh only a couple ounces for these, so for me it's worth having that extra layer of protection. These are an extra pair of socks. It's either these Darn Toughs or if I'm wearing the mid tops, I'll bring these. If I'm wearing low tops, I'll bring the quarter ones. And I hike in these, and I also, one thing I don't have out here that I should is I use the Injinji liners, the Coolmax liners. I also have the wool liners. Depending on the situation, I'll use either one or the other. But so if I'm just doing day hikes, I'll just use these. But if I'm actually doing a longer hike and I'm concerned that I might blister or something, I'll use the Injinji liners. This is just a nylon polyester underwear, extra pair. Either I'll use Under Armour ex officio. These I think are Adidas. I have some Nikes. Just kind of whatever I bring. This is a buff. This is the UV and bug protection one. Just helps to keep the sun off me, and also helps to keep the bugs away. This is just a regular traditional bandana. If the water I'm trying to filter is a little grimy, I like to have something like this. This also, if it's sunny out and I'm trying to get more protection, I have a bald head, so if the hat I'm wearing, I'm not sure if it's giving me the protection, I'll kind of put this over my head, and sometimes I'll wet it with water. These are just some Nike running shorts that I cut the liners out of. If it's hot out or if I want to get in the water or something, I'll just use that. Smart wool, I think that's the 150, the lightest smart wool pants that they have for sleeping. I've never really worn these outside of sleeping, so they're just my sleep clothes. This is the Montville Anorak. I like this, but it's not as warm as I would like it to be. I think the Ghost Whisperer for me is a little bit warmer, even though some of the people online have tested things and they say they think this is warmer. I think the Ghost Whisperer is a little warmer, but I like this. I've been using this because it's a little bit lighter. The material is a little on the crinkly side, so if you're one of those folks that gets annoyed by crinkly material, you're not going to like this very much because it is a little crinkly compared to the Ghost Whisperer. And then all of my clothes that I don't wear go into this Sea to Summit pack. This is their uber light Ultrasil pack that's water resistant, not waterproof. But I like having a little day pack, so if I have to go on a run to get water or something, I have something to kind of put on my back rather than bringing my backpack along. So all my clothes go in that, and it keeps them somewhat water resistant. And then everything in my pack goes in a compactor trash liner. I don't use a rain cover because I have the umbrella. That keeps it pretty dry. So I generally don't use a rain cover, but I will use a compactor bag to try to keep everything drier. And that's pretty much all I take. Everything, it comes down to about generally a 10.5 to 11 pound base weight, depending on which pieces are coming or not coming. If I take this flashlight, it saves me a couple ounces. If I don't bring the umbrella, that's 8 ounces. And then depending on the socks and stuff. But for the most part, it comes in somewhere around 11 pounds. I think the only thing I would like to switch out on this is I probably would like to get a little bit warmer bag for higher elevations or the kind of edge season camping. I I wouldn't mind switching this out for maybe a more expensive. Everyone goes with the Thermarest. I just can't stand how loud those are. I think they're comfortable. I think they're warm. They're just we returned ours. They were just way too loud. I'm a really active sleeper, and I can't do it. This one's pretty quiet. We have the Sea to Summit ultralight one that's more expensive, and I think it's a little more cushy than this. And it's definitely heavier than this guy. This guy's only like 15 ounces, and that one I think is like 18 or 19 ounces. So there's not a lot I would change. I pretty much got things dialed in the way I want them to be. So if you have any questions on any of this gear, or how they worked, or if you have differing comments, you don't like something, go ahead and post it. And if you have any questions, post that too, and I will answer back when I get a chance. Thanks.